Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a treadmill, which is right here. Now this is a slightly more expensive than the budget range that I have tested before, but it does have a bit more function than the one I tested before. For example, this one has slightly wider belt, which is a big bonus. It is really heavy, so it's not something that I would, let's say, move up and down from the loft to your living room. So once it's settled, then I will assume that you will want to keep that in one room. I managed to drag it across the garden on my own, but you might need help to move this around. I think 2 people will be needed. But once it's out of the box, if you want to move it from your sofa, underneath your sofa for storage, or behind your sofa for storage, and move it to the middle of the room, you should be able to drag it on the floor without much problem. Now, just to remind you guys, my videos are not rehearsed and not scripted. I'm not here to sell the products, but just to show you what your money can buy. If you find my information useful, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel, which will help me grow. Okay, this thing is made in manufactured in China. They do have a UK authorized dealer in the UK and have a WC1N postcode. I'm not sure how helpful that is when it comes to warranty and stuff like that, but that is another reason why I choose Amazon as my main source of goods, because I rather deal with Amazon than someone in China. Okay, let's open this and have a look and see what your money can buy. There is not a lot of assembly needed. Definitely, I'm not going to put like screwdrivers and putting panels together. Everything should be pre-built, pretty much like any other treadmill. So inside these accessory bags, almost everything is here. You got remote. Okay, so you got 2 remotes. So they knew someone is going to lost the remote at some point. You got some lubricant for your belt, a instruction booklet, a safety cord to deactivate the machine in emergencies, a couple of handy tools, 3-pin plug for the UK, and a like a kettle lid, we call them here, for power. Got a couple of rubber pads. Stand it up right. My first impression of this machine is heavy. And it's not a bad thing, because like I do feel that there is a lot of money worth of equipment right here. It just feels like the whole thing is made of solid metal. Compared to the other treadmill that I have tried before, sometimes you can have them feel a bit plasticky. It's like plastic casing, plastic parts, but this one feels like heavy metal. So let's say if you do want to store it under your furniture or your sofa, you need to have, including that top part here, you need to have at least like 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters is like that much of a gap. The other way to store it is upright. So all you have to do is make sure the handlebar is flat, and you lift this one up, and they're on roller, so you can roll it around. And the clever thing about this particular design is that as soon as you lift up the treadmill, this air ramp will push out this kind of a lever here. So it kind of make it more stable, because you have a wider opening on the bottom because of that. So it become a freestanding unit. But if you look at the underneath of the treadmill, you got rubber pads here. They say this is like some kind of like an air suspension thing, but I think they just glorified soap absorbing rubber. It's quite a big piece of rubber on this side and that side, which will take up a lot of vibration. Got a metal brace here and there. And in the front here, the contacts to the floor is these 2 area. And because it's such a small area, it might be a good idea to use the rubber pad which comes with the machine, to make sure that it gives you a bit more softening or dampening of vibration here. The belt underneath doesn't feel like there is a lot of oil or silicone, so I will make sure that I will put some in before I use it. But this, I do think, is a good idea to make sure that you can store it upright. If you slide it under your table, you can use it as a walking pad, so you can walk on it. But for higher speed running or exercise, what you need to do is you need to grab this handlebar and lift it up. And then it will lock in place. So once it locks in place, this will become quite rigid because of the design, like the kind of a triangle design. So this gives it a lot more strength than the normal one, which is come up with two sides. It still wobble from side to side, but forward and backwards it won't rock. So in reverse, let's say you finish exercising and you don't want this to be in your way and you want to put it back down. There is two release here. On the button itself, it says step on it and then push it down. I personally find that this mechanism is really, really rigid. Even if I step on it, it wouldn't budge. So what I find the easiest way to do it is use the palm of your hand, lean onto the button and wiggle the side here. Once you pull it towards you, it kind of releases the lock on this side, and you do the same to the other. Put your palm, press it down on the button, and then pull the joint, rock it a bit, and pull it towards you. Now you have released both sides of the rail and the joint, and then now you can push it down and you fold it. It took me a while to figure it out, but it would be nice if you can just step on it and push it down, but it doesn't work like that. But other than that, I think this is quite a good design, quite robust. Now it is showing an error message, and because the safety mechanism is not plugged in, and all you need to do is, just like any treadmill, put the magnetic switch back on. Oop. And now this is ready to use. The screen is pretty basic. It's just like, a green dial. This is actually to control the up and down, so the speed. But to start, all you need to do is press the middle. And we'll start to move. And you turn the knob to increase the speed. Really basic information, give you the time, etc. Now a couple of things which is really important is that this one from the manufacturer, it looks quite straight to me. So the belt is aligned in the middle. You can see the line is going into equal distance on both sides. But sometimes if the belt is loose or if they haven't been configured properly, then you will need to use the key to adjust it. But so far this one is okay compared to the other that I have used before. The motor noise is not that noticeable. Alright, now I'm going to put the camera down and have a go. The remote control is really basic. You got two that come with the machine. Obviously remove the plastic tab so the battery will activate now. And all you have is like a power button, on and off. You can hear the beep. Yep, and then you got the plus and minus. And you don't really have to point it anywhere particularly, it still works in my room. Okay, so I'm just going to do a light walk on this and see how it feels. Now this thing doesn't show any units on here, but I would presume that this is in kilometers an hour at the moment. I'm just kind of walking on this thing for now. And it's a lot wider than the budget treadmill that I have used before, and it does feel a lot more comfortable walking into, the area. It doesn't feel like that I'm worried about stepping onto the side. It feels quite nice. There's no jerky movement, it's quite smooth. Okay, time to ramp it up a little. Okay, as a maintenance schedule, I put a 1/3 of a bottle of the oil inside. And then now I'm ready to give it a try. So this is the slowest. Let's do a 3. So 3 kilometers an hour. This is your slow pace walk. So this is 7 kilometers an hour. Now this becomes a fast paced walk. Now with the barrier up, you can go beyond 6 kilometers an hour. But with the barrier flat and you put it under your desk for walking as such, it will only allow you go up to 6 kilometers an hour. So this is considering beyond the fast speed for walking. Now this is 9 kilometers an hour. And this is maximum 12. Because the belt is wider, I really feel comfortable running on it. So this is max speed without any running on it. Let's slow it down a bit. And emergency cord, if you pull it, and it will come to a halt straight away. Just like any treadmill that you have. Okay, so let me tell you 2 things which I don't like about this machine. One is the phone mount. Doesn't really work. You slide around too much. And the top part don't even click onto the phone if you have a case. So, at the end, your phone just end up like partially click, I guess. And the other thing, like I told you already earlier in the video, the locking mechanism there is way too tight. When you press your feet on there and try to push it down, it wouldn't work. So you have to use your palm of your hand and release the lock, and then you can fold it down. But that's it. That's the only 2 things which I don't like about this machine. Otherwise, out of the box, I didn't need to do much to it. The most common questions that I got asked about treadmill is the belt. Now this one here, I'm lucky. Out of the factory is already configured to the correct tightness. So the belt is not going left or right. It's actually dead bang on in the center. Say I want to use it under the desk without the barrier up. And I will make sure the wire is long enough and push it all the way down. I guess as long as there's space behind your desk, if you want to like do some walking while you're working, you can. Just keep your like joints mobile and such. Like I say, the remote doesn't have to point anywhere. You can have it near you and you can increase the speed. The only thing is obviously it's underneath now. I can't really see the speed unless I'm right at the edge of the belt here. Okay, so 6 is the maximum, 6 kilometers an hour. So you can still read your document, do your stuff. I wouldn't be doing any like chopping, cooking or anything like that while we are walking, but reading documents, watching YouTube, it's perfectly fine. I mean, my bench is a bit too low for standing and working, so I would probably have to raise my laptop to about this height. So this is a very good way to put a few more hours of cardio into your routine. You don't have to go out. You just, while you're working, you can walk. So this treadmill is really good for people who want to do a bit of cardio at home, so you don't need to be in the rain. Obviously, outdoor activities and outdoor exercise have their own benefits, but I personally prefer to do my cardio and my exercise in my own time. Sometimes after 12-hour shifts and I come back home, I can still jump on my treadmill in my studio right here. So peace and quiet, don't need to worry about getting mugged or danger of running on the roadside. This one here, like I say, is a bit more money than my usual budget. And it has a wider belt and much more comfortable to run on. The fact that you can actually pull down the handlebar and still put it under your desk, so it'll give you a bit more options. It's not without its downfall, but I have mentioned that already in the video. So thank you very much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time with more interesting gadgets. Bye bye.